I know I've been a little bit lopsided with drum videos, but the fact of the matter is it's a little bit easier since I don't need to plug anything in, I don't need to do this, that, and the other thing in order to get a sound and stuff. Everything's just kind of right here. And the other thing I noticed is that I tend to punctuate things with this 2-2 all the time. I don't know exactly what that is, but I don't know, it's kind of like a tick, sort of like a Tourette's thing. I also scratch my head a lot, I've noticed that. But it's a natural thing, and I don't think that there's much I'm going to be able to do about it, so you may just have to deal with that. So what I want to talk about here is a really kind of big part of coordination, two really big parts of your coordination, and that is linear patterns and hemiolas. Now, a linear pattern is a pattern in which no two things are occurring at the same time. So you don't have the usual, you don't have that, and you don't have any. None of that's happening. Everything is completely separate. Now, the most basic linear pattern that pretty much everybody has heard is this pattern that's kind of almost like a dance sort of pattern. It's kind of like all of these are occurring on upbeats, and your bass drum and snare are occurring on the downbeat. So what you're left with is this kind of. Now, so there's that, and you could do different variations of that too. I don't know how I'm going to do, how this is going to go, but I'll put some 2s underneath it. And some 3s. This one could go really horribly, but some 3s as well. Still linear, nothing's happening at the same time. All that's, still upbeats here, 3 there, and 1 here. Now, you can do the same thing with this hand too, with your left hand. You can, have 2 hits there. And you can combine them, obviously. So different, a bunch of different things there. So just because the standard thing you'll hear is this, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's just the most popular one. It's not the only variation you can do. There's many other things. So there's one place you can start with that. So it's not exactly as foreign a concept as you may think it is. Now, another linear sort of pattern that I kind of put together, you have different sort of subdivisions happening with the kick drum on top of, this is constant, and you have different, I guess, subdivisions with the bass drum, and there's 3 of those, and 2 snares. So what you got, I'll just play the pattern so you can hear it. So you have. Now, the 2 things you should be noticing here is that, number 1, this is completely steady. Your right hand is completely steady. There should be absolutely no change in the pulse here. The tempo remains the same throughout the whole thing, and that's where the coordination benefits come in. So, at the end of the day, nothing that you're doing with the more problematic one being the kick drum more so than the your other hand here. So that one is tougher, to deal with. But you want them to. Everything should be sort of revolving around this as opposed to altering it. So yeah, so I'll play that one more time. Alright, so there's that. Now, that one also you can mess around with. And maybe on the first kick drum. Let's see. Now, also, so you see, no matter what's happening here, everything is completely stationary up top. That's exactly what you're looking for as far as this. I don't know if I've ever tried doing anything different here with this. Mostly I've focused on this, the bass drum, but let me try it out. Woohoo! Alright. Yeah, so I haven't worked on that, but you get the point. And I think I was at some point throwing some threes underneath it too, but I don't know. Let me try that out. That could also go horrifically awry. So there's that. All right. Before, also Hemiolas too. That's very, that's another really, really important coordination thing, because what is happening here is you have a different speed going on between, in this case, the bass drum and the my right hand, and also one of them is going to be doing sort of a 2 thing, and the other one's going to be doing a 3 thing. So that's another really very, very important coordination matter, because yeah, because you're doing different, not really different tempos, because you want everything to still be kind of revolving around that pulse, but it's just a different thing, because you have 2 different feels. That's what it is. You have 2 different feels. You have your normal 2 feel and a 3 feel on the bottom. Now you can also have you can have them switch roles too. All right, so there's the Hemiola. That's very important. So both of these things are when you can get good at them, they do wonders for your coordination, because a big sort of thing here is when you play these things that are really outlandish. Like, when the hell would you ever hear that? You wouldn't. I mean, unless you're listening to some Meshuggah thing possibly, or something like that, you wouldn't normally hear that. So these things that sound really nuts are, you come back to the simpler things and you can do them in your sleep. So that's why some of the more complicated coordination things are really important. So I will leave you with that, and thanks for watching.